Yeah, we are thrilled to have you both here in the British Library and to all of you who are joining us online on Zoom. I hope everything is working. This is, and I can't believe I am saying it, the first event dedicated to South Asian children's authors and illustrators. So thank you for joining us and helping us launch off into the world. And that is it for boat metaphors. I promise I had so many boat metaphors. I was going to talk about anchors and flagships and maiden voyages and 3 sheets to the wind, but I am going to actually save that for the end of the day. But it's actually a lot simpler than that because Chitra and Sinead and myself, we've been thinking about this sort of thing for a really long time, like an event that's just for us, where we could celebrate all the brilliant work that all of you do in this room, your publishers, your writers, your illustrators, your editors, your everything that makes the children's book world what it is. And we wanted a space where we can talk about that, where the space we're occupying in children's literature. And we're hoping that from here we can build connections, spark ideas and conversations, and make a really meaningful impact on the children's world. And also, we have this place because, and I mean this with all the love in my heart, we were all quite tired of being invited to fairly wide organized panels where we get to talk about diversity. So yeah, we get to talk about this, but we also get to talk about all the other things like craft and intention and writing and the way everything mingles. So we've come together to form Sailfest, and we've been incredibly lucky. The British Library gave us a space. We've got amazing sponsors. Macmillan have been so generous, so thank you to them, but thank you to all the publishers who've responded with just such warmth and support. It's amazing energy. When the riots were taking place a few weeks ago, I don't think I was the only one who would have been seeing those videos of the kids and thinking children's books are part of the solution here. Reading other people's lives and seeing people in funny mysteries or in picture books or, everyday shenanigans, stepping through closets, finding yourself in magical worlds, finding yourself in thrillers where you have an improbable body count, all of these things. These are the stories that you see other people living their lives in, and this is what builds the empathy, and this is what, again, all of you in this room are facilitating. So everything that we do in this room matters and makes an impact in the real world, and that is what I'm so conscious of. So we have an amazing day ahead of us, panel discussions with many of you in the room, more people who are coming and joining us later. There is just so much talent and imagination here. There's going to be plenty of time to chat in between the sessions, but thank you for bearing with us and all of you having a good catch up beforehand as well, whilst we were running a bit late on Asian time. Thank you very much. But do say hello to everyone. And also, if you're on Zoom, please give us your comments, give us your questions. People are monitoring it. People will feed these back to us. Be nice. There are schedules of the day all about, but obviously this is quite a warm room. Take some fresh air, take advantage of the beautiful terrace, look out upon, I initially said a nice sunny September day, but have a look on this misty London, mizzling little morning that we're having here. And there's tea and coffee and everything out there and water in the back. There's a wall of room. There's a wall of prompts and questions. Please fill in those things. Otherwise, I will just fill it with books I like. And this is our first ever event. So please make some noise about it on the socials. Tag us on Insta or on Twitter. We're Sailfest, I think, on all those things. And our socials team, the lovely Anissa, may kidnap you and ask you for questions and answers and pics and all that sort of thing. B did all the housekeeping. If a fire alarm goes off, it is going to be for real, so just follow the green signs and don't save the books. You can't save them all. And now, on to our main event. I am delighted to introduce our keynote speaker, Perminder Mann, the trailblazing CEO of Bonnier Books and chair of the Publishing Association. She is a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, a member of the advisory board for Kingston University's publishing programme, one of the BBC 100 steering group committee. She is basically one of the UK's most powerful leaders and publishing innovators, and she was the first one to say yes to us. So I'm so thrilled. Please join me in giving her a warm welcome.
It's an honour and privilege to have been asked to give the keynote speech for the inaugural Sail Festival, and I could not be more thrilled to join the celebration of South Asian children's illustration and literature. What a brilliant initiative. Hats off to you guys. It really sits at a perfect intersection of so many things that are close to my heart. When the opportunity came up to get involved, it was an instantaneous yes. I know we're all going to gain incredible insights and energy from being here today, and I truly hope that this marks the beginning of an ongoing and meaningful conversation. Today, I want to talk about the past, then I'm going to talk about the present, and then move on to the future. So let's start with the past. I'm going to go back to my own personal story, and it starts with my grandparents who journeyed from the vibrant fields of Punjab in India to the bustling streets of West London in the 1960s. Not far from here in Southall, they planted our family roots. I grew up in the warmth of a tight-knit Indian community, one of 8 siblings. It was chaotic, joyful, and loud, exactly how it's meant to be. My parents, they worked tirelessly, saving every penny for a house deposit. We were a family of 10, crammed into a cosy 3-bedroom semi-detached house. My bedroom was a shared sanctuary with my 6 sisters, whose curiosity was endless, a bit like their banter. Those early memories were happy ones. The comfort of our community was a security blanket. We lived and socialised with Indians. It wasn't a conscious decision, but on my street, we all ate similar food, we wore similar clothes, and we all faced similar issues together. Money was always tight. Family holidays were a luxury we couldn't afford. So I spent all of my childhood summers lost in books. The local library became my portal to other worlds. I was Matilda in spirit, diving into the adventures of Tom's Midnight Garden, joining the midnight feasts at Mallory Towers, stepping into Narnia, imagining myself as Susan and her noisy siblings. I could relate. Each story was a window into the vastness of the world, teaching me about life's boundless possibilities. Books allowed me to dream. They opened my eyes to other people, other cultures, to opportunity. They built me up bit by bit from the inside out. They gave me hope. They made me feel I belonged. And as someone whose first language was Punjabi, books expanded my English vocabulary. And then they gave me the confidence to take these new words out to the wider world and make them my own. When I began my professional journey, I followed my heart and tried to get into television. But unpaid internships were a barrier I couldn't overcome, especially when I was drowning in student debt. So I took any paid job I could get. I spent a year in customer services at a courier company. That was a long year. Finally, and accidentally, I landed a sales job at Pam Macmillan. I discovered my true passion, a career in publishing that I didn't even know existed. But I embraced it thanks to my love for books. My career has taken many turns, and I will be honest, I haven't always felt like I belonged. I actually left publishing twice. It has been a long and winding road that has brought me here today, a woman of colour, from a proudly working class background, now standing here as the CEO of Bonnier Books UK and the current president of the Publishing Association. Thank you. I am so honoured to stand here, but I also feel a great sense of responsibility, a responsibility to inspire, to support, to help generations from a similar background, to be an ally. Now let's talk about the present. Today, I want to acknowledge and reflect on the progress we've made as an industry. It is real progress, but it's also fragile. This fragility was starkly highlighted during the civil unrest in the UK early August. To be candid, I haven't felt that level of unease about my safety due to the colour of my skin since I was a teenager. My phone was flooded with messages from friends and family sharing advice on how to stay safe and highlighting places to avoid. It was so heartbreaking to relay this information to my children, who are now young adults. They had grown up in a diverse and multicultural society and have never defined themselves by the colour of their skin. It reminded me that our sense of identity and belonging can be fragile. We can never tick a box and say the job is done. True inclusion and representation requires our ongoing and unwavering commitment. Despite the nervousness and the tension created by the riots, it was so heartening to see communities coming together, showcasing love, humanity, and tolerance. These communities represent the majority, and their voices were crucial in reassuring everyone that they belong. So what does it really mean to belong? To feel genuinely included? And what does it mean in terms of publishing? There are so many dimensions. The books themselves, of course. Readers need to see themselves in stories they read, especially young children. We need a diverse pool of creators from all walks of life. The same goes for our publishing workforce and all of our industry gatekeepers. One aspect I've been considering lately is how inclusive the spaces we create around books really feel. I recently had the privilege of working for the day in Sevenoaks Bookshop at the invitation of the brilliant Fleur Sinclair, the current president of the Booksellers Association. Fleur will be joining me at Bonnier Books UK for the day as well. The aim is for me as a publisher to learn more about bookselling and Fleur as a bookseller to learn more about publishing. I had an absolutely brilliant day at Sevenoaks. Fleur and her team have created an exceptionally welcoming and inclusive community space. They are incredible champions of books and authors. But this very special day also made me reflect on how bookshops felt to me growing up. And I have a confession to make, something that someone who runs a publishing house, I'm slightly embarrassed to admit. Growing up, I always felt that bookshops weren't for me. In the first instance, we didn't have enough money to actually afford books. As a child, I went to the library. Bookshops just weren't on my radar. When I did venture into one as a young adult, early on in my career, I found them dusty, museum-like. I didn't stay long. Books made me feel welcome, but bookshops did not. It was a reminder that while books have an extraordinary power to make people feel that they belong, publishing and the spaces created around books haven't always been welcoming. I do think this is changing. Fleur's brilliant bookshop is one of many that demonstrates that. But there are so many dimensions to true inclusion, aren't there? It encompasses so much, yet it's not insurmountable. At its heart, it's about accessibility. We need to demystify publishing so people are left in no doubt that they are welcome. And once they have access, we need to keep making them feel welcome. At Bonnier Books UK, one of our mantras is every voice matters, as well as the other ones, and we have many more. And we have many examples that show children's books are diversifying and enjoying commercial success. For instance, our young adult imprint Hotkey Books has published 2 of Anika Hussein's books with significant success. Anika, not having seen herself in the books she read as a teenager, writes young adult novels with South Asian characters at the heart of the story. In 2023, we published This Is How You Fall in Love, Anika's debut. It's her hilarious and heartfelt rom-com that centres on British Bangladeshi characters Zara and Adnan, who are just friends until they are forced to fake date to cover up Adnan's real relationship. It was shortlisted for the Young Adult Book Prize and has been a standout title. Earlier this year, Hotkey also published Desi Girl Speaking, a powerful and compassionate novel about mental health and hope. In middle grade, our imprint, Piccadilly Press, published Connie Huck's Amazing Cookie series. We are so proud to work with Connie. These books have been game changers. A female lead character with a passion for science. Cookie has challenged stereotypes This line from the Book Trust review says it all. This book that lets Asian girls and readers be proudly themselves, flawed, funny, ambitious, and capable of anything that they want to do. Another imprint of ours, children's imprint, Big Picture Press, recently published the absolutely beautiful, and I mean that in every sense, The Spaces in Between by Jaspreet Kaur, illustrated by Sanchita. The book deals with themes of anxiety, fear, kindness, and joy, exploring how different children cope with their emotions. And we are proud to publish all of these books. If all children can connect with books, see themselves in books, then hopefully we can turn them into long-term adult readers, which is both good for society and for publishing. In our adult trade division, we also have many examples where we have worked with South Asian heritage. I know we're here to talk about children's books, but I want to show that there is a longer-term career for those who want it. So here's one that we published this year, Jasu Aluwalia from Blink Publishing, The Brilliant Both Not Half. It's part memoir, part manifesto, and it offers a radical new approach to modern mixed heritage identity and corrosive ideas about the right kind of mixed race. Not only is it entertaining and a thought-provoking read, but there is a particular message. There's a particular passage in the book that made me swell with pride when I read it. Jessa talks about why he chose to publish with Bonnier Books UK, expressing that he didn't need to explain to us why his book was necessary. The team instantly understood. I'd found my home, he said. He felt like he belonged. I want all of our authors, illustrators, and our publishing staff to feel that way, as well as our readers and listeners. This ambition spans all our imprints and genres. Finally, if I may, I'd also like to highlight the incredible work of Footnote Press and its founders, Vidisha Biswas and Sujoy Roy. All of Footnote's titles centre around themes of migration, identity, and marginalised knowledge and experience. They aim to spotlight ways of thinking and being, especially the ones that have been previously overlooked or excluded. A couple of books to highlight include A Bollywood State of Mind by Sunny Singh. I think I see her in the back there. And Determination by Tazweef Khan. Stepping outside of Bonnier Books UK, everyone in this room understands the power, the absolute magic of books and stories. We know the transformative impact that they can have on the lives of children and young people. What an absolute privilege it is to be part of that. Books reveal that we are all connected. At the heart of every story are universal themes: love in all its forms, justice, good versus evil, family, corruption, self-identity, nature, survival, redemption. When we think about all of these things in abstract, they connect us all, regardless of our background or circumstances in life. Yet it's precisely these backgrounds and circumstances layered over these universal themes that make each story unique and special. And now let's look ahead to the future. Change is happening. The doors are opening wider than ever before. We're seeing better representation, not just in the books we produce, but in the people that create them. But let's be clear, we can still open the doors wider. We cannot afford to be complacent. We mustn't allow the pace of this positive change to slow as we plot a path to a fairer future. I'm here to tell you all that wherever you're from, whatever your start in life, there is a place for you in publishing. Whether you're an author, an illustrator, a poet, a publisher, an editor, agent, designer, or a specialist in sales and marketing, the possibilities are limitless. Take my journey, for example. My childhood home in West London is just 10 miles from here, but there's a whole world between that young girl that sought escape through her first library card and the woman standing here before you today. A world filled with adventure and knowledge, rich with wisdom gained through hard-earned experience. Back then, I couldn't have imagined that an industry like publishing even existed. Yet here I am, having conquered countless obstacles, driven by an unshakable self-belief, now leading a publishing house. A career I could have only dreamed of while losing myself in the pages of countless books. And this is the power of stories. They don't just entertain, they inspire, they transform, they build bridges between where we are and where we can be. So let's keep pushing forward. Let's surge ahead with purpose and determination, and let's continue to challenge the status quo, because inclusivity matters on our pages, in our offices, in the spaces we create around books. We must make it crystal clear publishing is for everyone, because the stories we tell have the power to change lives. Thank you.